Welcome to Gross Anatomy.
Hello, my old friend. Hello, my old podcast host.
Hi, Dr. Cohen. How's California?
Hi, Lauren. How's DC?
Well, it is severe thunderstorm right now, so hopefully you won't pick that up in the background. But I was going to ask you, is it raining in California? Have you finally got any rain in SoCal?
It rained a teeny tiny drop this morning, like a sun shower. It was pretty cool. But Lauren, let me ask you a question. Are we live?
We are live, the Gross Anatomy podcast.
And I am Dr. Jason Cohen, and today we are joined by our executive producer who is back on the scene, filling in today. Who are you?
I'm Lauren Taylor.
And I'm super excited to have you with us. And what are we talking about today, Lauren?
I am happy to be back. Well, quick updates. Your daughter got engaged.
My daughter got engaged.
I feel like our audience wants to know that. You talk about Liat, the oldest daughter, obviously.
I talk about my oldest daughter, Leah. Yes, she got engaged and to her high school sweetheart.
Which is so rare, but I do have a friend couple that they're married and they were together since high school.
I do. I have one friend couple too. They're married, high school sweethearts. And they're just like, they're like the same person almost, you know?
That's cool though, because I'm sure if she broke up with him, your heart would be broken because you're attached to him too.
Yeah, I really like the kid. He's a really good kid, and he's been around for so long, and I love that kid.
Nice.
Lucas.
Yes. Well, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of preparation. Speaking of which, did you see there was a new Father of the Bride remake on HBO Max?
I did, with Andy Garcia.
Was it good?
I haven't seen it, but I heard about it, and I heard it's actually doing amazingly well.
Yeah, I think it's doing really well. So my husband wanted to watch the original, and I just don't think it holds up, you know?
So you watched the original?
He tried to watch the original. I was doing something else. But
with Spencer Tracy, right?
No,
Is that?
Oh, you know what? So that's not the original. You're right. We thought the original was Steve Martin and Martin Short.
That's a remake, exactly.
And we love them as comedians, but I think just it doesn't really hold up as much.
No, that movie was not great. It was good. It was fun. It was cute. But I think the original Father of the Bride was Spencer Tracy, wasn't it?
Maybe. I just found out it was a remake. The original one I thought was Steve Martin.
You mean you just found out now with me telling you that?
No, just like the other day.
Yeah. Yeah.
You think you're going to be that kind of father of the bride? Give her everything she wants, but secretly be like, how much is this costing me? That kind
yes, totally. No, but it is Spencer Tracy. But we already, and Elizabeth Taylor, Spencer Tracy, Elizabeth Taylor.
Wow.
I did see that. I did see that one. I think that was a good one. I think it was a good one. Yeah.
Maybe I read gone back further. That's the problem.
1950. How about that?
Okay.
Go way, way back.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah. I don't know how I'm going to be. I have no idea. I'm a little uptight about the whole wedding prep stuff, but who knows?
Maybe if you get a fun wedding planner like Martin Short, someone's got a lot of charisma.
Right. Or maybe I need to get like a GoFundMe page.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you for laughing. I appreciate that.
So in the news, I saw that Justin Bieber, remember how you talked about on one podcast that I wasn't on, but Hailey Bieber had suffered like a stroke and she was so young.
Yeah.
And now her husband has something I never heard of before, but it's called, tell me if I'm pronouncing this wrong, Ramsay Hunt syndrome.
That sounds pretty good.
Okay. But it has symptoms like a stroke because it's like paralysis of the face. And then there's like an ear rash, hearing loss, dizziness, vertigo. So he had to cancel a bunch of his tour dates. But apparently it's caused by the same virus family that causes chicken pox. So I guess if you had chicken pox before, if I'm understanding this right, it can lay dormant and then just come later in life. Like stress can bring it on, different things can bring it on. But I never heard of that before. And he's also very young. So it seems crazy that they're suffering these things.
And it's not, I must tell you, I haven't really heard of a case of it, or maybe I did in med school, and I don't remember. But, you know, there's the whole vaccine for shingles, which is basically what that kind of is. You know, shingles is the is chickenpox kind of re-going in an adult. That's what it's called. And typically the virus often lives along certain nerves. And the distribution, and that's why there's facial paralysis, the distribution may be along one of the facial nerves. And that's why it affects, with partial paralysis of the face, because it affects there and kind of in a distribution along that nerve. And people can get painful shingles or type of pox kind of rash. But yeah, no, I've actually never seen it. I have seen Bell's palsy, which is very similar to that. And we talked about it a little bit on one of our Instagram posts, which is basically the same thing. It's paralysis of part of the face, innervated by those same muscles. And those could happen because of a virus or plenty of reasons that we actually don't totally understand. And in fact, I remember one of my buddies, after some type of flu-like illness years ago, had, part of his face paralyzed. And luckily, almost always over time, it comes back.
Right. Like that usually takes a few weeks to come back. I have seen someone with Bell's palsy before.
Yeah. And it's different. Some people it comes back right away. Some people could take months, and some people it may not fully come back, but most of the time it does.
Right. And I was looking it up what this Ramsay Hunt syndrome, and apparently it usually happens to people over 60. So I don't know why it happened to him so young, but it only happens to like 5 out of 100,000 people, I guess, in the US.
Yeah, no, I don't know why it happened to him. And there's a lot of conspiracy theorists running around saying, why did both Justin and his wife, Haley, get these weird things happen to them? What's going on? And
what do they say?
I don't know.
Are these like conspiracy theorists that like to blame like the COVID vaccine? Like it's always go back to that no matter what anyone has now?
It always goes back to that. And I think we're going to hear that forever and ever. And I
feel like there was another celebrity. I forget what it was, but that they were trying to blame it on that too. And they were like, no.
I don't know. And I think we're not going to know the truth until I'm dead. And by then I won't care. It is the bottom line.
You'll be sick of talking about it. You'll be dead.
Exactly. I won't really care that much. I mean, maybe I'll still care a little bit, but I think, whether or not, I don't mean the truth, but we won't know the answer. We won't know why exactly these things happen for a long time. There's just so much we don't know.
There's so much we don't know. My parents, actually, they went to a wedding in New York and they currently have COVID. So I'm a little worried about them. They're in New York with my aunt at her house and they all have COVID. And my dad has
diabetes. In New York?
Yeah, they're in Long Island and my dad has diabetes. So I was always worried about him, but he got a second booster. And my mom said he's doing the best out of all of them. So hopefully, yeah, vaccine is helping, and I'm less worried than I would have been 2 years ago, I guess. Yeah.
And luckily, there's a lot more treatment options too, and we're so much better off. Even when people get sick, they're the antivirals and the immune therapy, and then just we know how to care for people better in the hospitals too, if God forbid that were to happen.
Well, my brother said there's also like a pill you can take. I don't know about this pill if you have it.
Yeah. It's kind of like the thing you also take for the flu, Tamiflu a little bit. Like if you catch it early, if you start taking it when your symptoms are early in the first stages of things, if you take the pill, it may help shorten the disease duration and speed up your recovery. But again, we're just still, it's crazy. We always talk about, you hear, oh, we trust the science. We love the science. It's all about the science. But the truth is, we're such at the infancy. We are. We've had doctors for so long, but we're really at the infancy of knowing what we know about all of this stuff.
Right.
And it's amazing. It's what's really cool about science, that it's all just one big kind of science experiment, and hopefully, the outcomes won't be bad. But that's kind of how I often feel about all this, is that it's just hypotheses. Let's see, and then we'll kind of figure it out. Yeah.
And there seems to be all these guesses on what comes next. If we need to care about things like the monkeypox or just a different variant of COVID, and it's all just too much. So we just keep going.
Yeah. So just watch the movie Outbreak, and that's it.
That was really popular at the start of the pandemic. That was like on the top 10 in Netflix.
Well, we had that fun episode about talking about
that and Contagion, that movie.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then even the movie with Will Smith, Legend. I Am Legend.
Yeah, you like that one.
I did. And that's
you're still a Will Smith fan?
Interesting question. Yeah, I'm a Will Smith fan. It's kind of like the same way I feel about Woody Allen. I don't like him as a man necessarily. I don't, I wouldn't want to hang out with him. But some of his movies are great, and I try to separate those things. I try to just be able to appreciate the entertainment, and maybe that's wrong. Maybe I should not like the entertainment, and maybe I should feel that way about Will Smith too. And part of me, I don't know. Who knows?
I know. I've had that debate about. Well, I didn't know what Roman Polanski did. Like I saw The Piano, or was that what it's called?
Yeah.
The one Adrian Brody won an Oscar for, right? And I didn't understand.
I don't know.
Because I was young, like why the director wasn't there. I didn't know what he did till like a long time after. And so now I'm like, I went back and watched all his films before I knew. And I'm like, maybe I shouldn't have appreciated
Rosemary's Baby, right? Wasn't that his too? Rosemary's Baby?
When Chinatown with the
Chinatown. Wow. Yeah. I don't even know the full story, but I don't know.
Yeah. I don't think he gets a pass. Not in my book.
No, he doesn't. Yeah.
But I do think some people should get a pass. So this is going to kind of segue into what I wanted to talk about too. The movie Top Gun, which you saw and I didn't see, but you're not going to spoil it because I already did research. So I kind of already know what happens. But Miles Teller, who plays Goose's son in that movie, the actor that plays Goose's son.
And he looks so much like him in the movie. They really kind of have him look like Goose, which is amazing.
He got he did an article where he just kind of sounded like a douchebag, like nothing even that bad, but like he kind of was like, it almost seemed like he was banned for a while. Like he wasn't as popular as he should have been after the movie Whiplash. And he's just a great actor. I'm like, I don't expect actors to be like, amazing people or really nice.
They're not Gandhi. None of them think, we should not hold them to Gandhi standards.
I'm like, so he was like confident and cocky. Like I don't understand. But like now I guess after everyone else has been accused of much worse things, he's allowed to be famous again or something. But certain things I think are ridiculous that people.
Right. He definitely supposedly went through a major douchebag phase, but what that entailed, I don't even know.
I think he was probably just guilty of being an actor that was real in an interview.
Maybe. Did you? I don't know what he said in the interview. I have no idea.
Nothing. Just the interviewer just, made him seem like a piece of shit. But it's like,
Lauren, I can't believe you still haven't seen it though. I mean, your dog is named Goose. I
know I have a dog named Goose and we're going to go see it. We just haven't had a weekend. We've had some visitors in town, but I think this weekend we're going to go see it. But
and I feel like we were late to the party seeing it. And I just saw it this past weekend. It was I said, and my kids couldn't argue with me because it was Father's Day. So I said, we are going to see Top Gun. And they're like, okay.
But you made them watch the original first, right?
Actually, only one of my daughters watched it. So two of my daughters came with us, not the one who got engaged. She did not come with us to the movie. So my two younger daughters came to the movie. My middle daughter watched it, and it turned out really like the first one. But what was great was my younger daughter, who didn't really want to see the first one, really loved the second one, really loved Maverick. So, which was really cool. I was so happy that she liked it.
That's awesome. So
it holds up on its as a movie by itself. You don't have to see the first one.
Oh, that's interesting. I wouldn't think that it would. Okay.
Yeah. But it, having seen the first one so many times, you get all the nuances and it's kind of like old is new and new is old. And it was great. Okay.
Well, I'm really excited about it. And then I read about the Val Kilmer scene. So I guess it's not really a spoiler. Everyone knows Val Kilmer's in it.
Val Kilmer's in it. And the way they did it, the way his character, all of that was perfect. It really was perfect. And they talk about, they give his character an illness, which makes it, which ties it all up. But you can't, the way they did it was just brilliant. And
do they say he has throat cancer? Is it what he actually has?
They didn't say what kind of cancer, but clearly based on how I don't want to spoil it for you, but how they handled it and how they did it, you could tell it was related to his talking.
Okay.
Like a head and neck type of cancer.
Well, I was reading, Val Kilmer was responding to interviewers' questions like via email. And he said it worked because him and Tom Cruise they're real friends. They exchange like Christmas gifts every year. And they just have that chemistry. And the director said there's a lot of like Iceman and Val Kilmer and a lot of Maverick and Tom Cruise. So it just works.
Yeah, and you saw the chemistry and their scenes together. It was fun. It was fun, and you know, the Maverick Iceman's character, you know, he plays the admiral, you know, the big boss, which is kind of cool, you know. So it was a lot of fun.
So was there someone that played that in the original? Like, is that?
There wasn't really an admiral.
Okay.
They talk about an admiral, and interestingly, that's the Jennifer Connelly character. You know, he in the beginning of Top Gun, he gets yelled at about having sex with the admiral's daughter. Remember that scene? Remember he yells at him, Anna, fly and do it with the admiral's daughter. And Goose turns to him and goes, Peggy Benjamin or whatever it is. So that's the only reference. That is the character played by Jennifer Connelly. So that was
wow.
Really cool.
I thought she was just a new character, but they bring it back.
They bring it back, but they don't talk about, you know, they only if you're a big Top Gun fan and remember that, doesn't matter. But if you're seeing it for the first time, you don't really know. I mean, they talk about how they've had history in the movie, but that was really fun that's that character.
That is cool. I bet my husband would catch that. He's seen it a lot of times.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have caught it. That's cool.
No. Yeah.
I like that. So then that's like your only movie that you're excited about or that you were excited about that you've seen?
It's the only movie.
Because I have to tell you this, the new Jurassic Park looks like a piece of crap, but it's apparently doing very well.
That's Jurassic Park. I love what's his name?
Chris Pratt.
I love Chris Pratt.
I saw the trailer and I thought it was like an SNL sketch. I thought it was a joke. It looked so bad. I was like waiting for the punchline.
It's not on my list. I'm not going to see it. There's no reason for me to see that, even though I love Chris Pratt.
I'm not going to see it either. The only other movie I keep seeing trailers for is Thor, which is just not my jam.
I'm a cheeseball. I love the trailer for Thor. It looks
very
so fun.
Cheeseball. I'm like, it's going to be a hit. I know.
Yeah. Because I love Chris Pratt and what's his name? I love what's his name?
Who's
Thor? I like Thor. I like him.
Oh, Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah.
Well, I like the director, Taika Waititi. You know,
he's great. He's the one who did that Holocaust movie.
Jojo Rabbit.
Jojo Rabbit.
He's brilliant. Great. And I haven't seen Natalie Portman in, I feel like, years. So
I know it's going to be weird to see her as Thoris. I don't know what her name is, but yeah.
Is that summer blockbuster you're in on?
Totally in on. I don't know if my kids are, but totally in on.
All right. So it's June, so it's still Pride Month. So there's 3 of the most anticipated movies of the summer. One is Anything's Possible by Billy Porter. He's the director from Pose. I like
Billy Porter. I like him a lot. I think he's awesome the way he dresses. Like I often thought that more men should dress. He's just so cool.
I feel like he kind of started it, right? Now, like Harry Styles, now a lot of people are doing it. Like even Russell Westbrook, the basketball player, I love. He wears skirts now. It's just everyone's doing their own thing.
Exactly. He's super cool.
Yeah, I think it looks cool too. So he's directing a movie, a Gen Z coming of age story about a trans girl going through her senior year of high school. That'll be on Amazon July 22nd. And then First Kill, I saw that on the Netflix top 10. It's apparently Buffy the Vampire Slayer meets Killing Eve. That's how.
Oh, yes.
On Netflix.
I saw the trailer for that.
Yeah, it says it's a new queer vampire romance. So I guess
it looks interesting. Yeah, exactly. There's a vampire and a vampire killer, and their job is to kill each other. But sure enough, they fall in love. It looks kind of interesting. That I would maybe watch.
And the third one I'm going to say is a movie I've been waiting for years because I heard, Billy Eichner, he's like from Billy on the Street. He was in Parks and Rec. He's a comedian. Yeah. Anyways, I heard him like years ago talking about a movie he made that's going to be like one of the first gay rom-coms for a major studio. But I guess it's finally coming out September 30th. Universal Pictures is releasing it and I'll watch it because I think he's funny.
What's it called?
It's called Bros, BROS.
Cool. I haven't heard. That I haven't seen. I haven't heard of.
I just thought I would include that for Pride Month.
Cool.
Oh, one final thing I wanted to talk about was that you watched Winning Time. You talked about it in one of your podcasts that I wasn't on. It's the basketball show on HBO.
Yeah.
John C. Reilly.
Yeah.
About the Lakers 79-80 championship.
You didn't see it?
I did. I watched most of it. I loved John C. Reilly. I didn't really love it. And then I heard that Bill Simmons, who's like obviously a huge sports guy, said more people that don't really follow basketball like it more than people that follow basketball. Do you think
Maybe, and I don't really follow basketball. But
I know. So I was like wondering if there was some truth to that. But I love that you loved it.
Yeah. Well, I binge watched the whole thing with a friend. My wife was away with my kid looking at colleges. And he and I binged it. He was staying in our place, and he and I just spent the weekend binging it. But you know what? The last episode hadn't come out, and I haven't seen the last episode. We saw every episode until the last one, and then he left, and the last episode was coming out like the following day. So I've not seen the last episode. And the truth is, I don't know if I have to, but it was a really fun show that I really enjoyed.
I mean, you know what happens.
Right.
I did like that the actor that plays Avon Barksdale in The Wire got some work. He played one of the basketball players. That's what I liked about it.
And the other thing, I don't know if it's the same guy. There was a guy who was in Remember the Titans. Is that the same actor?
I don't know. I mean, I've heard of Remember the Titans, but I don't
Remember the Titans was a great movie with Denzel Washington. Where it's these two football teams merge. One is black, one is white, and they become this first interracial football teams. It's just such a phenomenal movie. Denzel Washington.
I'll have to watch it.
The actor, I gotta find the actor who I haven't seen in forever, was one of the actors in that movie, and I thought he was great. Is it Wood Harris? It might be Wood Harris.
Wood Harris, I think, is the guy I was talking about.
Yeah. So he was.
We're talking about the same guy.
Yeah, he was in Remember the Titans. That's what I know him from, and I just thought.
I think he's a brilliant actor too. All right.
Yeah.
We're minds are thinking the same thing.
Exactly. That's what I thought. I had a feeling it was going to be the same actor because he's great, and he hasn't really popped up in major stuff, and it was great to see him in that.
Yes, that is what I liked about it as well.
I also finished Ozark, by the way.
Oh yeah, I don't love Ozark. How did you feel?
No, we finished it last night. Yeah.
Okay.
Fun. Yeah.
I'm watching Stranger Things season 4, which
just watched it with my kids. This season I think is the best season yet.
Yeah.
How are you liking it?
It's so jam-packed. There's so many storylines.
Love the 80s stuff. Love the music.
Love the 80s, love the music. Agree.
It's so funny that the Kate Bush song, right? Are you up to that?
Good for her.
It's a great song. That song's like now top hits. Love that.
That is a great song. I felt foolish. I actually didn't know who she was. So I went on Wikipedia.
And the other amazing thing was Paul Reiser's in that. And yes. Paul Reiser, I think I've told the story about how Paul Reiser grew up with my mom, right? Did we talk about that a little bit?
I think so, a little bit.
So my mom used to babysit Paul Reiser, and Paul Reiser's mother was like best friends with my grandmother. They all kind of lived together. And when I first moved to LA, I bumped into Paul Reiser at a restaurant, and I went up to him and I said, listen, you don't know me, but my grandmother and your mother were friends. And he's like, oh, who's your grandmother? I said, Esther Licht, who had been dead already. I didn't say that. He's like, oh, so your mom's Arlene. And it just felt so good.
Aww.
Again, my mom was this amazing woman. She had already died too. I didn't tell him any of that. And that was it. But the fact that he was like, oh, your mom's Arlene, I just love that. So I love Paul Reiser. He was kind of, he reminds me of home and my mom. And so it's cool to see him in this show.
I saw him in a comedy club probably like 5 years ago, and he still got it. He was hilarious. So go see him.
And I love that he's a good guy. I love that he's not a bad guy.
Yeah.
Well, and the only other thing about Paul Reiser is Diner, which is one of the greatest classics of all time.
That is a good one.
And there you go.
All right. Well, thanks, Dr. Cohen. It was good to talk to you.
Lauren, I love that you're back with me. It's been, how long has it been?
Since January, I think.
So 6 months.
Yeah.
This is our 6-month anniversary of not being together.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Cohen. All right.
You're welcome. Move back to LA.
I really want to.
Don't tell your hubby, or I'll tell your hubby. I'll call him.
All right. Bye.
Bye, Lauren.
That's it for this week. Thanks for listening to Gross Anatomy, and be sure to subscribe to our podcast so you can check out more episodes on the evolving sights, smells, and sounds of medicine. Gross Anatomy is not intended to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always seek the advice of your physician or other qualified health provider with any questions you may have regarding a medical condition.